Coming up on Mountain News this morning, as rain continues to fall in the Cumberland Valley, officials are keeping an eye on rising water levels.
And in Floyd County, people living in one city came together to voice concerns over what they are calling a lack of communication from city officials.
Plus, February is American Heart Month, and we talked with a doctor about what people can do to improve their heart health.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 4:59. I'm Will Puckett.
And I'm Madison Pergram.
Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News This Morning on this Thursday, or Madison as we like to call it.
Friday Eve.
Yes. But it's not going to be a welcomed weekend, at least not until Sunday, because rain is falling everywhere, and I say it often, but today it rings true. If Brandon had any hair left on his head, well, it'd be out on the floor.
Listen, it would have fell out at this point because I wouldn't have time to pull it out because it's a very active morning. Let's get right into it. Live pinpoint Doppler radar lit up like a Christmas tree with all kinds of different colors there. Heavy rain falling across most of the area. Of course, the area of concern this morning is down near the border there, those border counties with Kentucky, Virginia, and Tennessee. Some active flood warnings. We do have an update this morning on the flood watch. Most of the northern counties were trimmed out of it here at eastern and southern Kentucky, but the other counties that are left, it's been extended until 1 o'clock this afternoon for basically the eastern Kentucky counties. Now, southwest Virginia and southern West Virginia, East Tennessee, under the flood and flash flood watches, those go until 1 o'clock tonight. So again, something we're watching. Please, we've already had reports of people driving into water this morning and had to be rescued. Do not drive into flood water. It does not take much to carry you or your car or your big truck or SUV away. Visibility is awful this morning, so you might not even be able to see the water over the road before you come up on it. So slow down, take it easy. Temperatures still in the 50s in most locations, dropping slowly, and then we'll rebound briefly early this morning before things start to drop once again. The cold front's on its way through, and some big changes are coming to our forecast as we head deeper into the night. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, as rain continues to fall in the Cumberland Valley, officials are focusing in on water levels along the Cumberland River. A flood watch has officials in Bell County keeping an eye on low-lying areas. The ground is already saturated, meaning water is puddling on the surface. The river usually sits at 970 feet, and for flooding to be widespread across Bell County, it has to rise about 30 feet above that.
Down the Highway 92 in the Greasy Creek area, Page Cutoff, those low-lying areas that get flooded by the river and by their creeks, especially when the river backs up, those will definitely be a concern, and I'd say a lot of those areas will get water.
Flooding along the Cumberland River back in 2018 had water levels reach nearly 1,020 feet. The floodgates surrounding Pineville were just checked last week.
And some business owners in the city of Martin hosted a meeting last night to voice their frustrations about happenings in their town.
This was prompted by a water line break last week that left them without water for 4 days. They say they want more communication from city officials.
WYMT's Emily Bennett went to the meeting and talked to them about what changes they want to see.
Last week, people in the city of Martin were blindsided.
Kind of didn't know until you went to go, wash your hands or flush your toilet or anything like that. There's no water.
Never being notified there was a water line break.
Our little town has been soaked.
This prompted business owner Deanna Mullins to set up a meeting where frustrated community members could voice their concerns.
I think if we get more people together and if we all have the same common goal of, trying to better the city, then it will work to benefit the city.
Many concerns were about the Martin Revitalization Project, a several-phase project moving people, businesses, and government buildings out of the town's floodplain.
We have the funding that we need to complete the project.
The Army Corps of Engineers is in charge of the project, and Wednesday night, the community flooded them with questions.
Our sewage and our water, will it all remain the same even through the field, or will there be changes in that?
I've been here 14 years. Am I going to flood?
The project manager spent nearly an hour answering questions.
Our authorization from Congress is to protect the town against the 1977 flood. So we will raise the town up above an elevation where that historic storm would not affect the town.
With the community.
I'm not blaming you all. I don't know how many times money's been in here to fix this place, and we're right back to square one.
just tired of being in the dark.
Now, the project manager said he plans to hold office hours so people can come to him with more questions.
Well, many different factors lead to heart disease, and it is the leading cause of death in the United States. February is American Heart Month. Experts say this is a time to focus on heart health strategies to reduce the risk of heart disease. Obesity, high blood pressure, and diabetes are some of those factors. And typically, when you think of diabetes, you think high blood pressure and sugar.
Over time, that high blood sugar in the bloodstream damages the arteries. And of course, one of the smallest arteries, and the arteries that are most important to us, are the arteries that go to our heart.
The blocking of arteries is what leads to heart attacks and congestive heart failure. Doctors recommend eating less carbs and exercising daily, whether it be a walk or run.
And it's a prevalent problem in the mouths of many Kentuckians, oral cancer. A $1 million grant through the United Health Foundation is trying to change that. In 2018, the project was created with the goal of serving people in Harlan, Letcher, and Pike counties. Our own Steve Hensley sat down recently with officials from UK College of Dentistry who say there is one group they are targeting specifically.
We're hoping with this grant, we're doing work in schools and in colleges, and we're really hoping to get the message out about tobacco, and people know about the dangers of tobacco, but we really want to try to create some champions.
Through the project, they have hosted many free screenings for people to participate in. And for more information on the project and oral cancer, tune in to Issues and Answers Monday at 7 on WYMT.
Well, a big step to economic development for Harlan County. State officials granted them certification for their Build Ready site in Cumberland. Last spring, they broke ground on the project. This is a picture of what it looks like now. Judge Executive Dan Mosley says the area can house a facility of 50 to 100,000 square feet. State officials will help them promote the site.
And a former Whitesburg restaurant is moving to Hazard. Prime 606 will be opening today at the Hazard Country Club. The restaurant will feature fresh steaks, hamburgers, sandwiches, and much more. The owner told us he feels the country club and the restaurant can both benefit from this new partnership. The steakhouse will open at 4 p.m. this afternoon and will be open to the public. Well, thank you for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning.
More news is on the way. Coming up, Governor Beshear teamed up with educators and parents in Frankfort to talk about the importance of Kentucky's gifted education program.
We're continuing to track flooding reports across the southern half of the area. I'll tell you how much more rain we could see in about 3 minutes.